Guys, I woke up today and realized I'm turning into a sucker for indie games. But to be honest, AAA titles became a little bit too demanding lately, and they suffer from a loss of passion in my opinion. So, for that sake, we're looking at a AA game today. If you don't know what's the difference, a AA game has a slightly lower budget than AAA games. But anyway, back to the game, which has massive bakeries thrusted into screen, a stealth action gameplay better than Assassin's Creed Shadows, and even more optimized than Redfall, if anyone remembers that game. My fellow gamers, today we are looking at my friend and brother from another mother's personal suggestion. A Plague Tale Not So Innocent.
If only she could come with us.
Where is your son?
In good hands.
Mother, no!
That filth would attack our children in their beds and gave them the black thing. Scared of killing someone out of the city.
A Plague Tale Not So Innocent is a stealth action adventure story-driven third-person AA game developed by the Baguette studio, Asobo Studio, and published by the Baguette publisher, Focus Home Interactive, which by the way is responsible for publishing great games such as Warhammer 40k Boltgun, which we covered on the channel, Space Marine 2, which was recently released, Necromunda, which is also another Warhammer 40k game, Aliens Fireteam Elite, and many other highly praised games. Such a great publisher. The story follows a young girl, Amicia of the Night family, Dirune, and her younger brother, Hugo, as they get chased out of their home by religious soldiers called the Inquisition because of a special disease or syndrome in young Hugo's body that runs in the Dirune family, which the story calls the Macula. The game's narrative takes place back in the 14th century, where the Black Death ravaged Europe like a bear mangling a corpse, and the 100 Years' War between the French and the English, where our characters have to clash with the Inquisition on one side, the French and English soldiers fighting, as well as the Rat Plague. While mostly historically accurate, the game gives a lot of credit to the rats than history ever did. Anyway, after escaping the Dirune property, leaving behind their parents' corpses, the siblings set out to seek help for young Hugo's disease, where they meet a lot of characters from which they made friends and enemies alike. These include Lucas and Clairvey, an old woman in a nearby village. But you know, they made more enemies than friends. The game is a traditional stealth experience, offering the ability to crouch and sneak around. You can throw rocks and clay pots to distract enemies. However, rocks have to be thrown at a metal object to cause a distraction. You also have the slingshot, which progressively gets more types of ammunition. The slingshot can be used to knock structures, which can open pathways, distract enemies, or even send them to the afterlife. While playing the game, Amicia will mostly be accompanied by Hugo, who can be ordered to follow Amicia or stay behind as you try to make a safe pass for the little child. Have I mentioned that if you get found, you instantly lose? Unless you have a sleeping potion on hand, you will face your end with a blade. The game doesn't have a saving system, it saves automatically, which is alright since the checkpoints here are well placed and not so far from each other to torment my skill issue while testing fall damage. As if there is any fall damage in the game. You can upgrade Amicia's sling and attire to make your gameplay easier, either by making your sling silent, shoot twice, get some silent attire to move freely behind enemies without crouching, or you can be that one stingy kid who sweats without getting non-mandatory upgrades. Either way, upgrades can be done at a workbench until you unlock the attire upgrade that allows you to not need it. The designs here are magnificent in my opinion. SpeedTree is such a great software when it comes to creating foliage to cover large areas, or at least make you feel like the area is large. The grit you get from the game is heavy. In my opinion, the sceneries were so impactful. I mean, look at this battlefield. Damn! I like the budget put into the game. Take a look at Beatrice de Rune's budget. So damn massive. And at every climbing obstacle, Amicia's plums are pushed in.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Guys, I didn't know that Amicia was 15 years old when I wrote this, and it was never mentioned in game that she is underage. Moving on from fan service, I'd like to talk about one of the most badass villains I've ever faced in this game, Lord Nicholas. Damn man, he gets into the intro just slitting Amicia's and Hugo's father, and presumably off-screen killing Beatrice. I mean, in drama, I've put these set rules: if a character dies off-screen, then they never died. Anyway, that aside, he just strikes fear into you. I mean, look at him, he's heavily armored and nothing could work on him, even if you try to. And he's practically like this scary figure that Amicia holds as a scarecrow in her life. He's the one responsible for the murdering of her father and presumably her mother. When we get to this guy's boss fight, like damn, I mean, come on. Ever since the beginning of the game, I knew he was gonna be a boss fight. 100%. I haven't talked about how that the boss fights are designed like Resident Evil, especially the remakes. Resident Evil remakes boss fights, where you have to dodge and some of the hits are one hit equal kill. So yeah, really cool detail to touch on, and I really like the Resident Evil style of bosses here, like the third person Resident Evil games. We also want to talk about the character development of Amicia and Hugo. Slowly we do notice that the siblings start to change, especially when you start to kill the guards. There is this one mission where you start killing some English soldiers, and oh my god, does the music hit hard. Man, this game single-handedly made change of this type of change in character so impactful. I was like, I'm gonna hit another guy with a rock, you know? I'm gonna sling another guy, why not? Such an impactful moment in the game. The writers are so brilliant in my opinion. Hugo develops from, oh, I trust my sister, to, maybe old people don't have to always be right. Maybe I should believe what I want to believe sometimes. Which is, by the way, I want to say that this part of the recording isn't scripted. I'm talking literally raw right now, like this is my raw opinion about the character developments of both characters. There is also Lucas, the alchemist disciple, whom we have seen become progressively proud of himself as he proves to himself that, yeah, I can do it. I can do what my teacher does. I can do what Beatrice was doing. So, yeah, really cool character development. And I think this is one of the details that I haven't touched on script, which is why I'm adding it right now. Anyway. The overall design of the world, as in NPCs and enemies, is great. The squire boys, the knights and heavy guards, the villagers, everything looks amazing and immersive, most of which are accurate to that era of history, hence the immersion. Though I thought alchemists looked kinda weird and lazy. But maybe that's just how they dressed back in the day, who knows? Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood wasn't depicting real life alchemy anyhow. But the way they depicted rats, which wasn't historically accurate, however, was so horrifyingly good. Like, damn, get these furry beasts off of me, man. Who brought the 9 Souls team in here? Visuals aside, the design of the story and its writing is wholesome, despite the atrocities you have witnessed. The love shown between Amicia and her little brother, whom apparently she barely knows. However, she has the strong feeling of responsibility towards the little gremlin. And you kind of start appreciating your younger siblings more, but then you remember how gremlinly they are and hop back onto the game. Jokes aside, I think this game made me appreciate my younger siblings more, and as the prototype of my parents, aka the first child, you could say I have regained my senses of responsibility towards my siblings because of this game. Getting emotional over some pixels, man. Never thought I'd be that guy. I mean, when you see the devotion of Amicia to cure her brother, it reminds me of certain people who show even greater devotion for their children and siblings to get them food in a certain place on Earth. Let's not get too political. Man, this game is just so... wow. What do I got to say? Concluding this review, I'd like to thank you for watching until this very second and minute. And I want you to know that you are a great person. You went through your day and gave my video some of your precious time. So despite the occasional glitches in this game, and the story that gets bland towards the end, which is, my opinion, killed the need for stealth. You can cautiously barge in and destroy your enemies. However, I think the visuals and sceneries, as well as great impactful initials of the story, cut it some slack. The game's innovative aspects may not be much, but the narrative is so beautiful and impactful. And I guess siblingful? I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I mean, this game left me speechless at some points, and that reminds me of Red Dead Redemption 2, man. And for the sake of Beatrice's personality, a firm 9 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed the video. So, I will see you later, fella.
We all have obligations, Amicia. I have to manage these lands. Your mother has to take care of your brother.
Do you dare to enter the Trials Gate?
Amicia de Rune fears nothing.
This
Hugo, follow me. Now.
Well, I'll be damned. Here's the rest of them. Those dirty vermin that invaded our church. That filth would attack our children in their beds and gave them the black thing. I know what you're like. Fine. I can use that to my advantage. I'm not scared. I'm going to show you what it's like to lose someone you love. Not killing someone all of a sudden.